Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back those tattered yellow robes to get a good look at one of horror's most mysterious figures. So you probably know him as this, terrifying symbol of cosmic dread, right? Some kind of evil thing from beyond the stars. But get this, his story starts in a place you would never guess. Seriously. All right, so our journey doesn't begin with cosmic horror or in some crumbling, impossible city. Nope. We're starting out in the quiet, pastoral fields of a short story from 1891. Yeah, you heard me right. Before all the madness, before the yellow robes, Hastur was actually a kind, gentle god. The original story paints him as a protector, a being you'd pray to for safety. Wild, huh? So the big question is, how in the world did this gentle protector turn into a synonym for insanity and cosmic terror? Well, it's this amazing story of literary evolution, and it all kicked off when another author got their hands on Bierce's creation. Okay, so enter the next major player, author Robert W. Chambers. He saw those names, Hastur, Carcosa, and he just plucked them right out and wove them into a totally new tapestry of decadent psychological horror. And here's where it gets brilliant. Chambers' stroke of genius was creating a piece of art, a play, so powerful it could literally shatter your mind. See, at the time, people were moving on from your typical Victorian monsters. So he didn't just invent a new creature, he invented a medium for madness itself, using Bierce's words as this super eerie foundation. And this is exactly how he does it. He's not explaining a thing. He's just painting a picture with this haunting, totally undefined imagery. Black stars rise, strange moon circle. These aren't facts. They're just pure unsettling mood. It's all about the vibe. So he basically hands us this whole dictionary of terror, right? But the brilliant part is he absolutely refuses to define any of it. The power isn't in what he tells you, it's in that terrifying, empty space that our own minds rush to fill with our absolute worst fears. He makes us do the scary work. Just think about that one line from the play, no mask, no mask. It suggests some truth that's just too awful to be shown. That's the horror of the unknown right there. I mean, what you imagine is always going to be infinitely more frightening than any monster he could have actually described on the page. And of course, this kind of powerful, undefined horror, well, it was bound to catch the eye of the master of the genre himself, H.P. Lovecraft. He was a huge, huge fan of what Chambers was doing. Now what's cool is Lovecraft didn't just steal the mythos. He paid tribute to it. He took those names and just sprinkled them into his own universe, calling them hideous connections. And with that, he officially welcomed the King in Yellow into what we now know as the Cthulhu mythos. But, and this is super important, he never defined them either. He just made the mystery even deeper, hinting that these names were all part of some bigger, way more terrifying cosmic puzzle. He kept that terrifying potential completely intact. That is, until another author came along.
And here's where the story takes a really interesting, and for some, a pretty controversial turn. This brings us to the most transformative figure in this whole saga, August Derleth. He was Lovecraft's friend and, after Lovecraft passed away, his publisher. And this right here is the game changer. Derleth took all those atmospheric hints and he basically wrote them down into a rulebook. His goal was to preserve and popularize Lovecraft's universe, so he created a mythology with actual rules and backstories. Suddenly, Hastur wasn't just this creepy name or a mood anymore. He was a specific guy with a family tree. And this just perfectly shows the huge split in the mythos. On one side, you have Chambers and Lovecraft, who gave us this unknowable cosmic indifference, the idea that we just don't matter. On the other side, Derleth gives us a structured, almost comic book-like universe with rivalries and elemental powers, air versus water, Hastur versus his half-brother Cthulhu. It's a whole different ballgame. Now, for a lot of purists, this was, it was a step down. It took that pure horror of humanity being totally insignificant and turned it into a much more conventional story. It became, this understandable evil fighting another understandable evil. The cosmic dread was kind of gone. But look, whether you're on Team Derleth or not, you can't deny that his work is what paved the way for Hastur to just explode into modern pop culture. Think about it. The ambiguity of Chambers was brilliant literature for sure, but it wasn't exactly easy to adapt into a game or a movie.
By making the lore more accessible, more gameable, Derleth's version let the King in Yellow completely conquer new media. Take something like True Detective. That show absolutely nailed the unsettling mood of Chambers' Carcosa, but it also gave us a concrete, villainous cult that the characters, and us, the viewers, could actually confront and understand. It needed that structure.
And that leaves us with the big question at the heart of this entire journey, doesn't it? We went from a gentle shepherd god to an unspeakable horror to a cataloged villain with a backstory. So it really makes you wonder, what do you find more terrifying? The monster you can't possibly comprehend, or the one that you can? The answer to that, well, that gets to the very soul of what horror is all about.